Today's episode is brought to you by True Classic Tees. Come on, man. You know they make the clothing, shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants for the casual person, the one that wants to be comfy, the one that wants to have a little bit of an athletic build up top, but have a little room to play in the midsection. Oh, you see this hoodie? This one of theirs. Shout out to True Classic Tees, man. This is what they do for you, man. They create that type of comfort, that type of loungewear that you need when you're watching sports, when you're kicking it with your family and friends, or you just want to get lost. All right, but the thing that I also love when we talk True Classic Tees is the fact that we have a promo code, and that code is MOATS. You use that, you get 25% off of your purchase at trueclassictees.com. Like I said, man, you can't go wrong with them, man. They have a plethora of options, though, from hoodies, sweatpants, long sleeve t-shirts, short sleeve t-shirts, shorts. Check them out. True Classic Tees. Salute them. When you watched Philly, in terms of their pass rushers, I thought that the Chiefs did a good job of when they wanted to give those guys the illusion of rushing the passer, they would screen them, they would draw them, they would quick game it. But they would leave them unblocked, so that way those guys are exerting the energy. They're rushing, getting a dope move, but it's on air, so it's disheartening. But then when they would want to take a shot, that's when you would see a chip. That's when you would see some type of extra whatever over there. And it would still be schemed up. It would still be off of some type of play action pass. It's not a naked, just gun 5 wide empty like you were seeing with Philly, right? Philly, when they were taking the shots, man, you would see them spread it out on occasion. But to me, I just thought that that was one of the things that the Chiefs did at a high level, and they were able to stay consistent with it. And then when their offense linemen needed to win their one-on-ones, they did that. And I thought, like, when you watch that, and then on the occasion where the Eagles did get pressure, what did we do? Or what did you see happen? Mahomes, he would extend the play, right, with his legs. And to me, that's just one of those things where they played a dope game offensively. It wasn't perfect for the Chiefs, but they execute. And they don't commit the back-breaking or self-inflicted issue. When you talk about Philly, they ultimately did create that. The fumble.
Themselves.
That was self-inflicted. If that doesn't happen, who knows what happens? But that is a part of it, and that's when you're talking about playing for a championship or down those type of games. This is why we talk about turnovers, even in the regular season. When we talk about missed tackles, even in the regular season, because in week 7 you minimize it. It doesn't matter. In week 7 you laugh it off. You got out of the stadium against the Browns. Cool, congratulations. But as you, as Deke, as me, and everybody know, you're not facing a team that's going to make those type of mistakes when you're talking AFC Championship, when you're talking Super Bowl. You have to play dang near perfect. So this is why the urgency, and this is why when you talk about, how critical you have to be at times, this is the why. Because those teams don't make a ton of those mistakes. Those teams, like you think about Philly, right? The fumble on offense, and then even on defense, we can talk about the call as well, right? The James Bradbury call. I look at it like this. I know you got your common sense rule, and that's all well and good. But at the end of the day,
you were thinking about it.
No, I wasn't, because at the end of the day, it's a common sense rule. Why? You say don't call it, but by not calling it, who do you penalize? Either way, somebody's gonna get penalized. That's how I look at it. But was it a foul? Absolutely, it was a foul. Can you make a case? Should you make that call right then and there? Cool. But once again, by making that statement, we go right back to the area where we have the most grievances with officiating, the gray area. We don't want it to be they get to pick and choose or deem what is egregious and what is not egregious. We want it black and white. But in the call right there, where by the rule, that is a black and white hole, you throw the flag. But because of that scenario, now we're like, hey, man, use some judgment right here. Hey, you ain't got to throw that flag right now. Why? Because we want to see them kick a field goal and potentially get the Eagles the ball back with a minute and something left. Even though, to me, I'm like, you still going to kick the field goal, you still going to get 3 points. The biggest difference is how much time is left for Philly. But on defense, that is your job, to not make a mistake. How many times do we watch on 4th down, Chris Jones lined up in the freaking neutral zone, helmet across the ball? Should they not call that call there? Nah, you're going to call it, because by the letter of the law, you're offsides. Even though we know what they're trying to do, we know the play that they're running with the QB sneak with the double push is invincible right now. We still like, no, you got to call that, bro. So that's why I was like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, we could make a big deal out of it, but it was a penalty. No different than the Joseph Asai 2 weeks ago hitting Mahomes running out the sideline. It still is a penalty.
Back-to-back calls. I'm not satisfied.
We just over here like turn a blind eye. Turn a blind eye this time. Why? So we can get more offense. Okay.
You got the common sense rule. Mm-hmm. But I just hate how the game ended that way. And I do think, too, it's been being brought up. Like, they didn't have one holding call the whole game. They didn't have really many calls throughout the game.
Bro, it was the same.
Well,
bro, Bradbury held Juju early in the game.
I think that's my point, is that they were letting them play throughout the whole game. Then why all of a sudden you're going to throw the flag on, like, the most critical play, where that was even that play – The last play was more ticky-tacky than the one you're talking about.
But see, once again, you're asking officials to do what? This is gray area. I'd rather they call it by the letter of the law. So that way you don't have this, because you are like...
They should have been calling it the whole game then.
But once again, people going to complain if they do that too, right? People are
going to
keep
it consistent.
But you're going to complain regardless. That's all I'm saying. If they call it by the book, you're going to complain. If they don't call it, you're going to complain. If it would have been an egregious pick play and Juju runs out there and catches that in the back of the end zone, no one's tripping on offense. Everybody on defense like, bro, you got to call the pick play. Y'all be like, you don't call that pick play? No. How many times we talk about holding that happens out there on the same plays in the trenches? We won't call that. Why? It's a judgment call, right?
I know, and they weren't doing that at all throughout the game. Like, you could probably do it on every play, right? Am I wrong?
Okay.
You could probably call a flag on every play.
So this is why, as a player, I don't like the gray area. I'd much rather you call it by the letter of the law, black and white. So that way I know. Because what we're talking about right here is why this type of stuff gets brought up. Early in the game, you might not be tripping on it. Hey, I'm going to let that slide. Hey, late in the game, when I'm over here and trying to win, what do you think that Chiefs team is saying? You got to throw that flag. If that's the Pittsburgh Steelers out there, man, bro, you better throw that freaking flag. He held Deontay. You better throw that flag. He held Pickens. You better throw that flag. We know this. We all know that.
That was ticky-tacky, man. That was so ticky-tacky. Like, I don't even like the call. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but damn, dude. Like, I really didn't like the call in general, no matter when the time of the game is. I just felt like that's what the game should have came down to. Hurts getting the ball back. I would have liked to see it. Hurts get the ball back, minute left, minute and a half left, one timeout, two timeouts, whatever it would have been. It's just frustrating. But it does, from my standpoint, it doesn't take away what the Chiefs did or Mahomes' greatness. It doesn't take away. It's just that's such a sucky ending to a really good game.
I look at it like this. First off, I don't really care about all that offensive stuff. I want to see Hurts get another opportunity. I'm like, bro, you had how long in this game, bro? I'm good. At the end of the day, I look at it like this, man. You got to execute offensively and defensively. And part of execution is fundamentals and technique, not committing a foul. That is a part of it. If it would have been a false start, we talk about how Lane Johnson, right, he'll take off a little early at the tackle spot and how people bring that up, right?
I think they were saying both the left tackles were doing that.
But we bring that up and how people have really focused in on those things, right? And we pick and choose once again. When do you deem that's a call worthy or not? And if they really start to call that, people would lose their mind too. So once again, I just feel like the officials are damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. It was a hold. That was the thing. You're asking a dude that literally watched this guy hold him, not once but twice on the play, and literally just be like, all right, man, hey, it was a hold, but you know what, man, in this moment, we're going to let it slide. As a defender, how long do I got that leash? Do I get that leash again if it went to overtime? Or does that no longer work if it's in overtime?
Like I said, they weren't calling them throughout the whole games. I just don't know why they randomly called it on the 3rd and 8, where they were able to get the Chiefs to have an incompletion.
Would you have been mad if that was the Steelers on offense?
Clearly not.
So what we talking about there? So was it a foul there? If it was the Steelers, would it have been a foul? Yes or no?
There are times where you say throughout a game,
no, I'm asking.
We got blessed. We might have got blessed here.
Deke, I'm asking.
I'll take it.
Not blessed. Deke, if that's the Pittsburgh Steelers, the exact same scenario. Are you upset about that call? Yes or no?
I'm not upset.
Okay. Well, there we go. All good there, bro. That's all I'm saying. The only time I feel like we tripping on this is because of the whole, man, I would have liked to have seen if Hurts could have done something. I get it. It would have been exciting. Cool. But to act like this call was so egregious, like, I'm not there with it. I'm not. I get people want to be upset because they want Hurts to get the ball back. I'm like, bro, the Chiefs did what they supposed to do. They executed the heck out of this thing, man.
It was a hold. It didn't really feel like it got him. It got him a tad bit off the line.
He got
when it slowed down. It looks way worse.
No, absolutely not. He got him going in and coming out, bro. He got him both ways on the break. What are we talking about?
I don't know about the second time. Absolutely. I think that was an optical illusion, maybe.
You know what?
Like, I don't even like the call in general. Part of it too is the whole. Yeah, I feel like the game should have ended. Like, Eagles forced the Chiefs to get an incomplete pass, so the only rightful thing to happen after that is the Eagles get the ball with a chance to win.
But how was it incomplete?
Or tie it back.
But it was incomplete because of the hold.
I don't know. About
you know
that.
why we won't know?
That ball,
you know why we won't know? Because Juju was held.
That ball was a little bit gone there.
You know why? Because Juju was held. That's why you have this uncertainty of could he actually have gotten there or not? But we'll never know because James held him. Like, I'm trying to figure out what we missing here, man. It was a hold.
It doesn't change for me, like, the result. Like, I'm not saying, oh, Eagles would have won it, guaranteed or anything. I just would have liked to seen them have a chance. I think
I
feel like that's how it would have been.
To me,
it should have been rightfully so.
To me, I think both things could be true. I think we could acknowledge that, hey, we would have liked to have seen that, but at the same time, acknowledge that it was the right call. Like, that's my whole thing. I feel like we make it like an either or. It can't be we wanted to see potentially Hurts and what that offense could have done and acknowledge that it was actually the right call. We make it like, no, that's a terrible call because we didn't get a chance to see that. And it's like, no, he committed a foul. No different than when they were lining up in the neutral zone. It's like, bro, it's a foul. It's a penalty. Like, that's why you called it. And the other part was this. If it's on the backside of the formation, they probably wouldn't call it. But who was the intended receiver? Juju. Where do you think that referee is looking when he's watching this route? Juju. Because that's the play side receiver. That's the other thing when you talk about it. So not only was it a hole, but you did it where all the eyes are at.
Just really didn't like the call. Again, I don't think it really changes my opinion on if the Chiefs were deserving of this. Didn't necessarily change the outcome of the game as a whole because you still have, what's the cliche, you still have 60 other minutes in the game. You have so many other plays. Like, hey, if the Eagles' defense didn't collapse in the second half, you don't get put in that position to begin with. I get all that. But
that
still,
doesn't matter, though, right?
I still just feel like a game plays out how a game plays out, and you do have moments, you do have plays, you have things in time where it impacts it. It does impact it. So it's part of it, but it's not all of it. I'll put it to you that way. I didn't like the call, but again, Mahomes still won, Chiefs still won. They played a good game.
How do you feel even with the DB himself saying that he held him?
I'm surprised he said that.
What, telling the truth? It's called accountability.
I think he was just being humble.
Being humble?
Owning up. Just being humble.
So the dude admits to holding the cat, and now he's like, yo, he's being humble. It's like, no, he's just being real. He messed up. And it was a big part of the game right there, man. He got to live with that. That's a part of the game, but that is why when we talk about playing at this level, all of that goes into it, man.
Rob say anything to you?
He did hit me up. He actually called me. I need to call him back, though. Yeah, early rise. He hit me at like 5:30 in the morning, bro. Yeah.
'Cause that was his boy.
Yeah. He definitely hit me up because he was like, he said something along the lines of like,
about the call?
He was like, I feel like he said, he was like, yo, he said he doesn't hate the call, but he was like, that is a part of that position, though. In terms of like, you gonna be hand fighting sometimes. Sometimes you gonna get away with the tug. Yeah. And as
AB with a push off.
Dude, as a guy, bro, how many times we seen AB? He'll extend it on you. Like, we all know that. But as a dude that has done the cover stuff, like, that is real. It's times where you're like, all right, you know it's gonna be contact on the catch point. And how everybody knows how Juju runs route. He's not gonna route you up with athletic ability. It's the physicality when he runs his route. So you're trying to account for that. When we would play Gronk, you're trying to account for, man, he's going to run into you and hit you. You got to grab something, get some type of cloth. But hey, man, when the referees is looking for that and they call it, now you got to figure out the next thing. And like I said, it's the point of attack. If it's the backside, it's different, but that's the guy that they were looking at. So it's just a bad situation for him, man.
I don't know why he said that. He should have been like, man, the league's gone soft on us.
Man, I think he's
take a little bit of a fine. How much of a fine would have that been?
It's the Super Bowl. It'll be a major fine. Everything is doubled.
League's gone soft.
Everything is doubled,
I
bro.
can't be a physical corner out here.
Nah.
What the hell? Anything else with the game stuck out to you? Hurts played amazing.
I thought he did his thing, man. I thought Philly as a whole, Philly played 3/4 of dope football. I just thought after that, the defense kind of fell apart and the special teams kind of let them down. And that's when we talk 3 phases of football. No one talks about the punt team, right? No one talks about the punter putting the ball in the middle of the field with no hang time.
That punt was pretty bad.
No one talks about that, though. Why? One of the biggest plays in the game. No one cares about that. You were told holding. It's like, bro, that to me was more critical than the daggone hold. It's like, bro, what are you doing? That changed everything. Momentum flip.
Why'd he do that? That stadium doesn't have a huge ass scoreboard.
It was just a bad play. once again, details though. When we talk about winning a Super Bowl, when you talk about that, it's dang near perfection, bro. Like, you can't make mistakes, and especially late in the game. Think about when Kansas City made their mistakes. First half, right? The missed field goal, first half. They weren't doing a ton of that in the second half, man. It was, we buttoned up, we doing what we supposed to do, we executing. Because you don't have a lot of leeway versus talented teams like that. Like, I looked at that punt return, I'm like, oh boy. And that's the other part. When you talk the statistics in National Football League, a defensive score or a special team score, your chances of winning are 70-80%, bro. Like, it is that. And that's not even talking about elite teams versus elite teams. That's just in the league. You get a score on defense or you score on special teams, bro, your chance of winning go up 70-80%.
We've seen that with us over the last couple of years. Minka pick sixes. And
so what did the Chiefs
special
give you?
teams
So what
blocks
did the
and
Chiefs
stuff.
give you? The Chiefs gave you a defensive score and dang near a special teams touchdown. Two of them things that increase your, odds of scoring. Increase your odds of winning.
Almost had another one.
What'd
You think of that? Me and my buddy were discussing this. I'm like, there's no way that's a fumble. You need a football
It was
move.
too quick, bro. It was too quick.
He was like, dude, honestly, look, he has the catch.
He has the catch, but he never made a move. He never advanced.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, if you start calling that shit for all the other catches,
you can't do that.
There's gonna be fumbles galore. There's gonna be 10 fumbles again.
You can't do that, bro. Yeah. When I saw that, I saw Kelsey. I'm like, Kelsey, stop it. You doing that because it's not you. If that was you, you'd be over here like incomplete, bro. What we talk about? Yeah.
Butker hit one off the field goal post. That was a little prop bet. Did you do any bets?
I did not. No, I did not. I ended up missing out, man.
I did all right.
I ended up
think
missing
I
out,
ended up
man.
making $5 from
because
all my
the two that
bets
I
put
wanted
together.
I wanted the Kelsey anytime and the Hurst anytime, and literally
You would have hit both.
I know, and I was like, yo, I don't know why I waited. Yeah, but I missed out on it, man.
Yeah, Hurts right off the bat.
Yeah.
He had 3 rushing touchdowns too.
But he was balling, bro. Showing the legs, through in the air, recovering from adversity. Like the leadership, man. I thought he played a heck of a game,
I can't believe
bro.
that fumble. It's
I
so
don't know.
bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
But literally, they came right back the next play.
Yeah.
Went into the left side. It had a big gain on it.
Yeah,
it
like
was
it was
literally
nothing.
he just tripped it up and fumbled it, man.
That's why I got to give him props. You're right
Yeah.
with that mental toughness to come back. Right? I think they
It was
scored a
the-
touchdown
they
on that
scored-
drive.
The next time they got the ball back, that was the first play to the left side. They ended up scoring after that, man. It was a heck of a response. But I thought Jalen Hurts, bro, he put on a performance, man. Without a doubt, he put on a performance. I thought both quarterbacks did, but it was just different styles of what they were doing.
I think this time around the Chiefs set up Mahomes for
Yes.
success,
Yes.
whereas that Tampa Bay game, they
It
screwed
was-
him. The line was so bad,
Yes.
they were just like, hey, we're going to run our offense
And-
like we
and
have all
good luck.
season. Just drop back,
Yeah.
and we're going to do all the
Uh-huh.
routes down the field. But
They
then
le-
the Buccaneers were like, okay, we're
Yeah.
either going to get to you and
Uh-huh.
snap of a finger, or we're going to just cover all this shit.
Yeah.
And you have to start checking down, and they weren't doing that.
To me, I felt they learned from that mistake.
Yeah, this was a good read
Because
game.
they said we're not gonna drop back and give these rushers time to just pin their ears back and go. When they go to rush, it's off of misdirection, it's off of play action, it's off of something where they're not just teeing off. And they wouldn't wait till your obvious pass downs to throw it either. They would do it early on and down. And that was the other thing I thought, just keep them off guard. As a defender, man, you're always making on third and long. Third and long is I get the rush to pass because that's when they're going to take a shot. But if they take that shot on first down, you like, bro, hold on, man. We ain't even got defense for that just yet. Second down, but I'm thinking draw a screen, man. What you mean you going to drop back on this? Oh, this is crazy. I missed my opportunity. And now you start pressing. Now you're like, bro, hold on, man. I know it's technically a run play, but I'm going to rush this. I'm going to catch my play action. And now you see it, Pacheco on the perimeter, sled. You're like, God dang, all right. But that's the dynamic. I thought that that Kansas City they were buttoned up, man, for 4 quarters. Like, they stuck to that game plan, and they did not make the mistake. Whereas we talked about, 1, 2, 3 mistakes that we can point to from Philly in terms of the fumble, the middle of the field kick, or the middle of the field punt, and then the Bradbury holding. It's like, man, those are 3 critical things that took place for Philly. Whereas when you talk Kansas City, we don't have that. Like, they didn't commit a big turnover. They didn't allow a big play on special teams.
Right, they just had a couple 3-and-outs in the first half.
And their one missed field goal was earlier. So it was like it didn't kill them in that second half when they were putting on that performance, making that comeback. But did you think that Mahomes was done the way he was limping though?
No, hell no.
Okay.
No, definitely not.
Funny thing though, bro. So I was watching the game with Lil Man. He lost it.
He thought Mahomes was done.
He thought he was done. Because when Mahomes stood up, you see his eyes all watery and everything. He was like limping. And because he watched the game when he hurt his ankle against the Bengals, he's like, oh no. He got real quiet. I'm like, bro, you good? And he had this like angry look. I'm like, bro, what's happening, man? I was like, yo, talk to me. It's Mahomes. I said, what you upset he got hurt? Yeah. It's not fair. This how the Eagles won last time. They always cheat. I'm like, bro, you gotta chill.
That's how they won last time.
Yeah, because when they beat the
Purdy.
when they beat the
I thought he
Niners,
was talking about the last
when
Super
they beat
Bowl.
the Niners, he was like, that's how they won last time, man. They just cheating, man. And I'm like, bro, you gotta chill, man.
He
Everything's
sounds like
straight.
me, huh?
Yeah, I'm serious. I was like, yo, everything's good, bro. Just chill. So then after that, I'm like, hold on. I'm like, bro, you all right? Crying and everything. When you see Mahomes come back in the second half, start balling, he get hype, bro. When they finally scored and took the lead. Little man taking
He's a
his shot.
Chiefs fan,
He'd have
huh?
lost his mind.
No.
He walk around. I told you, Mahomes. I told you, Mom, Mahomes, Dad. I won 20. I'm like, bro, I will wring your little neck. Stop it. All right, we're not gonna do this. Yeah, but yeah, he was super hype. Yeah, he's definitely on this Mahomes
Sounds
train
like
right
he's
now.
spurning both the Bills and the Steelers right now.
Yeah, man. But he's flavor of the week with the quarterback, man.
Didn't you say like the Bengals last year?
Yeah. Because
Burrow?
I told you, whoever he thinks is the best quarterback, that's what you're rolling with. Burrow, Allen. He didn't gave me some Pickett. Mahomes is dude. But he always rock with Mahomes, and that's why I told you when I said he didn't like Brady, it was because of on the Madden video game, the one that he had on his iPad was from the Chiefs Bucks Super Bowl when Brady beat Mahomes. So that's why he's always like, I can't stand Brady because he beat Mahomes. So I think Mahomes is definitely his number one quarterback. I'm just throwing it out there. Not a bad quarterback to root for, but I think that's definitely his guy.
He's really damn good. I don't think there's a doubt about it.
He racking it up right now, bro.
He's really damn good.
He's racking it up, bro. Like, insane, bro.
Man, I had a couple things I wanted to bring up, and I completely forgot.
Super Bowl MVP?
No. Well, Mahomes got it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's right. I mean, who else was going to get it?
That was my thing. I didn't feel like it was one of those ones where we could, like, if Nick Bolton would have had another touchdown on defense, I think you could make a case for him. Like, if that second one would have counted, I think you make a case that you scored 2 touchdowns, do what you did defensively. Yeah, but outside of him, I was like, I didn't think of anyone else that was worthwhile.
Yeah. I know he didn't have gaudy yards. 3 touchdowns, though. You're right. Clean game.
Yeah. And when
Did it when it mattered.
I would say when they needed to have it, he gave it to you. Bro, that run he
Granted,
had, man.
Reed really helped him in the red zone there.
Yeah.
Scheming up those wide open plays.
Yeah. But once again, like, it takes a team. So
It
you
does.
got to have the coaches.
Absolutely
You got to have
does.
the players.
No, he
execute.
made some
Absolutely.
Mahomes-esque type of throws throughout
Yeah.
that game, too, where you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
How are you making this throw? There's
Nah, but
only
it was-
you and, like, Herbert, a few other people that can make this throw.
Yeah.
Pick it.
We're going to find out, man. We're going to find out.
We saw in that Ravens
Yeah,
game
we're
some
gonna
of those
find
dots he was
out.
throwing.
Yeah.
Clutch shot. What, the Dolphins game? Remember at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Avoid the picks. Don't remember those. Forget about those. The one where he threw to Frymouth on 4th down. You couldn't even see Frymouth.
I like
And it, like, whizzed right by the
Hey,
Dolphins
just
defender.
avoid that part. But this the part we talk about.
That is miscommunication with Deontay.
It don't matter. The thing is this, though. In all seriousness, I've already talked about Kenny in terms of his talent. Yeah, he's talented to make every single throw. But the difference is what we're talking about is that's the Super Bowl, down multiple points. Can you execute flawlessly with the stakes on the line in those critical moments? And that's what, when I say I want to see with Kenny, that's what I'm waiting to see. And obviously, hopefully he gets the opportunity.
He's giving you the signs thus
Yeah.
far this season with all those do-or-die games.
But that's what it comes down to. It's like, man, regular season has a certain level of intensity. The playoffs got a certain level of intensity. Wild card versus division round versus AFC Championship, and then I can only imagine the Super Bowl. But as you've seen, the people that we've talked to, they even speak on it going to another level. So that's the part for me where it's just like, yeah, it's a lot easier, when the stakes are a little bit lower. But as they continue to increase, even next year, I anticipate Kenny, he's going to have a different level of pressure because this year down the stretch, yes, we were making a run for it, but it was more so we're trying to overcome all of the damage that had been done in the first half of the season. So it's still a different level of pressure. I don't anticipate us having a slow start win-loss wise next season. We should start out hot. We should start out feeling pretty good. And now when we get to that bye week next season, it's going to be, can you finish this? Can you keep building upon this? That's going to be totally different than what they were doing this year, where it was like, hey, you are at rock bottom right now. Anything you do is great. You're overachieving. Anything you do that's positive, we're going to be happy about. This year, we want to see, all right, what
we are
does that
definitely
look
going to be a
like? You see what I
buzzy
mean?
team
Yeah,
going through this
absolutely.
offseason. People are going to be picking us to win the AFC North, go
Yeah.
on playoff runs.
Because
You're
of
right.
how
It is a different pressure.
Absolutely. And this is what we saw with Cleveland, with Manziel, not
You could throw
Manziel,
him in
with
there.
I mean Manziel, Lord,
They got a lot of hype with him.
with Baker. But you remember with Baker, it was like they went through that phase where they overachieved the year when they beat us. But then after that, it was like, okay, y'all got expectations now. And that's when you start to see, it was like, yo, they can't handle that type of pressure across the board. Coaching staff, players, and just doing it for 4 quarters and repeating process week in and week out. It is not an easy thing to do. But that's the part where we're going to see, can Kenny do that? Can our team execute like that? I think we got some pieces that can, but that's going to be the telltale sign for us, though, man.
Okay, I remember actually what I wanted to bring up. It goes back to what you were talking about with the pass rush with the Eagles.
Yeah.
Some people are blaming the field. You see some slippage out there.
No, it was bad. The field was definitely, yeah.
Why does that happen in the Super Bowl? I've seen that too many times.
Well, they said that they were growing the grass specifically for this. The problem is this, though, man. Unless you're playing football on the field, you're never going to be able to know how good the grass truly is, how good the traction truly is, whether it's turf or grass. Because you go out there and run around in warm-ups, it's controlled. Deke, you're going to run 10 yards and stop. You're going to run backwards 10 yards and stop. You're going to run your own routes on air, right? But it's a controlled set. You're not actually competing against me. You're not competing against another high-level athlete who's going to make you stretch out your comfort zone. So when you talk about that dynamic on a field that's brand new like that, now you really getting to see, oh, man, you might have cut on that field at a 7 intensity and it held up great. But when it's the Super Bowl and all these lights and all this is up here and all the stakes are high, man, you cutting at a 10. Man, you putting that thing to the limit. You maxing out. So now that field is really going to see can it hold. And for that field,
couldn't even hold up for a
bruh.
celebration.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't it Pacheco. He started doing a touchdown celebration. He slipped, almost fell.
Man, when they showed the kicker slipping, like his leg falls and I'm like, bro, he almost blew his leg out on that.
So do you think it's more of they would have just had different cleats or different specifications versus the field being bad?
No, I think it was twofold. I think for Philly, they adjusted their cleats from the molds to the like 7 studs, and that's what we would have to do when you play here in Pittsburgh with, before they like started to upgrade the grass. It would be like that spray paint, dirt, sand, and it was just not a lot of like traction, so you couldn't wear a molded cleat, which you typically feel faster in because it's a lighter shoe. But when you're talking about not having traction, you go to the 7 studs. You like, bro, I need something that's going to give me some real grip. And that's what those dudes changed into. And it'll help you. But either way, man, it's one of those things that if the field, doesn't have the best footing, you got to deal with it. But you're also trained to handle the field not being in the best conditions. That's the other thing. You think high school, college, you play on the perfect field every single week. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, bro, like, you done played in potholes, all type of nonsense, good grass, long grass, short grass, good field turf, old field turf, even in the NFL. Man, it was times when you play it, especially in Buffalo, like early before they switched their turf, we'd be like, bro, our turf is not the best. But you go on the road, he's like, bro, I love this turf over here. Still technically turf, though. This grass over here hits a little bit different than this grass over here. But you learn, okay, if the field is a little bit, the footing isn't the best, I'm going to have to shorten my steps. I'm going to have to adjust my cleats. I'm going to have to be a little bit more choppy right here. I can't burst out of this thing and take this super long step. That's how you adjust to it, though. Because those receivers, those offensive linemen, they got to make the same adjustment. They're not going to be able to be as explosive because if they do, they're going to get too stretched out and ultimately mess themselves up as well. So that's a part of it. But yeah, you would love the field to be better. But I think that for the NFL, they just kind of got cute. They was like, hey, man, we got a chance, especially out in Arizona where the field is retractable. It's not like Pittsburgh. It's not like some of these other places where it's the same field. In Arizona, the field literally is on a track. And after every practice out there, they roll it onto the sun. So for the NFL, they was like, let's get cute. Let's make some $800,000 grass. Like, that's literally what they did. They created it, curated it for like...
Wouldn't that mean it's better if you spend that much time in detail with it?
You would,
like, that's what's crazy, man. This is the Super Bowl.
But once again...
like, how?
I say
how do we have a shitty field?
But this is my thing. It looks good optically. A lot of grass looks good.
Oh,
a lot of grass you walk
you
on.
think that's what they were going for?
Yes, I'm talking about the
visuals.
Performance element. And they weren't going to have people testing up that field because you don't want to chop it up. So that's why. But the thing is, when you first go out there, even in warm-ups, you're not going to really identify like that because you're not going as hard. But when you get to the actual game, man, that switch flips. And you're literally going 200 miles an hour. You're going as fast as you can, as hard as you can. And that's when that field is really going to get stressed out. And it just couldn't hold.